You're watching the Batter Fans Network.
Welcome everybody to episode number 42 of the Battle Heat Fans Podcast. I'm your host Dave Garan, alongside me, as always, Mr. Daniel Solana. How are you doing, sir?
Well, I'm doing a lot better than the Heat, right? That's for sure. I'm still in New York. Woke up this morning. It's snowing out here. It's beautiful, but it wasn't beautiful in the Kaseya Center last night. It was absolutely brutal. A loss that I didn't predict that this was going to happen, Danny. I thought the Heat really would win this game, but man,
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards was on an absolute tear in that first half, scoring 20 points for the second time this season in a row. Man, what you can't really do much when the other team is going to shoot 54%, right?
Yeah, and the Timberwolves came in reeling. I think they had lost like 3 or 4 in a row. Like, it was bad. Anthony Edwards had that little a moment when he had like left the bench, so everybody thought that maybe he won't play against the Heat. Like, we were feeling pretty good about the way they were looking coming into the game, and the Heat were on themselves were on felt like they were on a little bit of a burner, beating the Pistons the previous game. Everybody was feeling pretty good, and for the most part, I thought the first 3 quarters, although the Heat didn't look great, I thought that it was a pretty close game up until the fourth quarter. But the fourth quarter starts, the Wolves go, is that like on a 20-4 run, 19, something like that, 19-4 run, I think it was. And that's all she wrote. I mean, I Bam didn't have his best game. I think I'm getting tired of saying it because I feel like I'm saying that every day, every time we come on here. Um, but I will tell you that I thought, because everybody says that when Bam plays against like a Rudy Gobert, when he plays against a Giannis, when he plays against one of those guys, he like gets up for the game. And when the game started, I don't know if you remember, like it was like the second or third possession of the game where he had Rudy Gobert like in a carousel. He completely spun him around. He had a nice move, spun him around, hit a three, and I was like, oh, Bam came to play. He came to play today, and no, that was it. That's where it ended. Like, that was it.
Yeah, he
Um,
came to play 3 possessions.
yeah. He ended up with 12 points, 5 for 13, 3 for 3. He had 9 boards, 4 assists, 4 turnovers. He was a -9, the worst plus minus in the starting lineup. Yeah, man, Bama. We need somebody. We need somebody that can carry this team because, and we know that Bam can't do it, but for some reason, because he is the star, you kind of still like hope that he could figure it out eventually. But he's what, in season number 8 or 9, like that. This is who Bam is. He's a great on-ball defensive player, and that's on ball because even defensively, when he's not on ball, he's been looking kind of lackluster this season. But That was a rough night. And we haven't even gotten into the worst part of the night, but yeah. Um, Anything else you want to say about anybody else's performance? Because honestly, I thought it was just a pretty crap game in the first half, especially for just about everybody except for Nico. Nico had a pretty good game, and I told you the other day I thought Fontecchio was looking almost unplayable. I'm kind of tired of seeing Fontecchio, to be honest with you. I know he hit 3 threes yesterday, but I don't want to see him anymore.
Who cares about those 3 threes? Did you see his plus minus?
Minus, yeah, the worst, -20. Like I'm so tired of seeing Fontecchio,
Yeah,
and it sucks.
the reason he played is because Pella was out and because of what happened to Triple J in
Yeah.
the second quarter. That's the only reason that he got minutes. You got to see Kaz Yakuchonis get a few minutes as well. He hit a 3-ball, and I thought he was pretty good. The issue with Simone is that he just doesn't offer anything defensively, right? And we've already been through this before. We did this already with Duncan Robinson, where we knew that he could get hot and get you 5, 6, 7 threes in a game. But unfortunately, his defense leaves a lot to be desired. And so because his defense is not as good, you need him to score 15, 18. You need him to make 4, 5, 6 threes a game if he's going to average out what's going to happen in the game because he plays no defense.
His season started off so well though that he convinced me that, like, oh man, we got a gem. But you ever you ever watch Fresh Prince, Will Smith's Fresh
All the
Prince?
time. All the
I
time.
don't know. I was watching him yesterday, and I was thinking, like, I was so convinced that he was good, and he tricked me. He tricked me so much. I started remember. I don't know if you remember that episode when he's in the basement stuck with his girl, and she starts taking off like that. Like, he's like, stuck in the basement, sitting on a tricycle, girl, getting on my nerves.
I remember
Yeah,
that episode.
yeah. She starts taking off her nails. He's like, dude, like this is just he's taking off. I don't know who he is. I really thought that we had found something, but that's silly me buying into things way too early. But yeah, all in all, just a a game that would have been one of those gritty wins where you're like you didn't play great, but you somehow managed to win. And but no, in the fourth quarter, everything fell apart after that 19-4 run, and that was it. And they were shooting pretty poorly from three. I think they ended up getting a couple garbage time threes that kind of helped that percentage get up to 38%. But before that, I mean, I thought that they were playing pretty poorly as far as 3-point shooting. And that's been a tale as old as time this season also. So
Yeah,
but the biggest
well, I was going to say, when you look at the stats, right? When you look at the stats, the Timberwolves shot 54% overall, 29% from three. But the biggest difference in the game was the fact that the Heat got out rebounded. The Heat committed more turnovers than the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves got more fast break. Sorry, the Timberwolves didn't get more fast break points, but they were right there, 10-9. And the Timberwolves just won all the hustle stats last night. And because they won all the hustle stats, something that the Heat is usually accustomed to winning, that was a difference in the game. That was a difference in the fourth quarter. Turnovers, points off of turnovers, rebounds, offensive rebounds, all of that, unfortunately, added up to a Heat loss.
And look, and Bam didn't have it easy going up against Rudy Gobert. I mean, he had him on skates that first in the first quarter, that first play. But
yeah, but our
after that,
defense overall was not that great. I mean, I saw some plays where Khalil Ware was on Julius Randle. Julius Randle would just step back and hit a three over Khalil Ware, or he would drive.
He's not a good defender, though.
I know, I understand that, but I'm just saying the Heat have to do a better job on the defensive end to make sure that they don't get those mismatches to where Khalil Ware should have just been on Rudy Gobert. They should have never been switching. He should have just stayed on him because, unfortunately, when Rudy Gobert got somebody smaller on him, he got that offensive rebound. And so, I mean, he had 4 offensive rebounds in last night's game, and that could have been, 8 points. And look, in a 10-point game, that's a big difference.
The best I've seen Khalil Ware's defense is when he's just roaming around in the zone, just defending the paint. Because when you got him manning people up, he's just not a good on-ball defender. Where Bam is a great on-ball defender, probably the best on-ball defender. But yeah, Khalil Ware that's not his game. But the biggest story of the game, in my opinion, Jaime Jaquez going out. Even Norman Powell went out for a little while also. He ended up coming back. I don't know if he'll play tonight. Tonight's going to be a rough game because the Pelicans suck. But Norman Powell, I have a feeling Norman Powell might not play.
I was going to tell you, Jaime's out for sure. That's guaranteed.
I figured, yeah.
I haven't heard anything about Norman. He might be playing. He's day to day. It just depends on how he felt after the game. But he came back and he played a good amount of minutes last night. And he had 21 points. He got to the free throw line. Look, we never have to worry about Norman Powell. He seems to be the catalyst for the Heat every single game. The guy who gets buckets when they need a bucket, drives to the hole, hits the 3 ball. So I'm not worried about Norman Powell. For me, it's the rest of the team that needs to catch up to what Norman is doing if we want to continue to rack up these wins.
Absolutely. And I heard that Jaime Jaquez, well, he went down with what looked like an ankle injury, an ankle sprain possibly. I heard that he was not in a boot after the game, but usually those things get worse as time goes on. So probably today is when you really find out the extent of the sprain. Like you said, he's out already today. Hopefully it's just today and he can be back soon, because Jaime Jaquez, I feel like this team goes, and it's crazy to say, right? Because he comes off the bench, but I feel like he is that critical player on this team. Like he might be the most important player. Like Bam doesn't give you as much offensively and defensively. Yeah, he's still the best because you know what he can do, but he hasn't looked the best this year. Norman Powell, obviously, his scoring, and then after him, wouldn't it be Jaime? Like those are the most important 3 players I think on this team, and I think Jaime, if he's not playing well, if he's not carrying that second unit, this team isn't doing well, because that second unit without Jaime, and you have Fontecchio, you have a Drew Smith, you have Khalil Ware with these guys like that. Look, once Jaime is not there and he's not a threat to take it into the paint, you're stuck like Chuck, because Jaime is the the driving force of that second unit. And I think that this team goes as Jaime goes. So I'm hoping that this isn't long, because I think this is a huge loss for the team, because Jaime had finally started getting back to his November self, and it really sucks to see that he's out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's definitely, like I said, you have the catalyst in the starting lineup, who's Norman Powell. You have the catalyst on the bench, who's Jaime Jaquez Jr., and he plays critical minutes in the entire game, especially in the fourth quarter. And the Heat didn't have him last night in the fourth quarter, and that's exactly when the Timberwolves went on that 19-4 run and blew out the game. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough, and Spo's going to need to find somebody else to insert into that second unit to get them moving. It could be a Kaz Yakuchonis. It could be a Nikola Jovic that takes a little bit more responsibility in that second unit. It could be a Myron Gardner, who we saw last night in garbage minutes, but actually had a decent outing with 7 points, made all of his shots, and had an offensive rebound and even a couple of assists. You could be seeing some of these bench players get some minutes as other guys. We're starting to go through a rough patch where people are starting to get injured. People are starting to get tired. And it's around that time in the season, right? We're about a month away from the All-Star break. And so the players are looking forward to that 1 week of vacation to be able to get right, to be able to get ready for the final stretch of the season. But it's going to be up to Spo to find the right matchups, to find the right lineups, to go out and beat some of these teams. And tonight we play the New Orleans Pelicans, a team who's one of the worst teams in the league. And there's no excuses. They need to go out and win, Danny. The Heat are 5-8 in their last 13 games at home. And look, they need to win at home. Good teams win at home. It doesn't matter who you play. And so we'll see what happens tonight against the Pelicans.
I forgot to mention that Andrew Wiggins fouled out early in the fourth quarter, that
was weird. I haven't seen a foul out in years.
Yeah, and so early in the game too. We have the Pelicans at home today, and then we go on a 4-game road trip. We're back in Minnesota after today. We're back in Minnesota, and then we are going to Chicago, then to Indiana, and then we finish the road trip in Oklahoma City. So it's a bit of a tough run as far as after you saw what the Timberwolves were able to do in that fourth quarter to the Heat, knowing that we possibly might be that Jaime for a couple games. That might turn out to be a rough go. I mean, I think they could beat the Bulls and the Pacers. Oklahoma City, I think they cannot beat. And then we got the Timberwolves and the Pelicans. So hopefully we can get tonight, because we need tonight going into that road trip. All right,
we'll see, man. We'll see.
Any final words there, Solana?
No, man, I'm excited. I'm excited for the season, man. 19-16. I know we said that we were going to go 4-0 in the next 4 games, but we didn't. We didn't. And I'll take that one. But I hope the Heat go out and get a win tonight. It's going to be important to get back on that winning streak, and you got to go out and beat the teams that are just not good. And so tonight, that's one of the teams that they face is just. The Pelicans are a disaster, right? The Pelicans are a complete disaster ever since they drafted Zion. And look, if they don't win tonight, tomorrow's going to be a shit episode. But I have a lot of faith. I think we're going to win tonight.
And then just to close it out with this, the Miami Heat are currently in 8th in the Eastern Conference, but they are only a game and a half out of 4th. So the Eastern Conference is just all jumbled up. I think it's going to be like this all the way throughout the end of the season, because all these teams just go on hot streaks and then losing streaks, and it's just it makes it interesting, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
If you're listening on audio, please leave us 5 stars and a comment. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe, and we'll be back tomorrow talking about hopefully a dub and making it to the 20 wins. But until the next one, have a good one.